Welcome back everybody to Forza Horizon 5, and yeah, we're in online racing once again with the 2023 Lotus Emira. So yeah, it's not had a massive overhaul in upgrades because we didn't have very much PI to play with in the first place. I think it was around the 760 mark. So yeah, it didn't have a huge amount to play with, but this car was already brilliant in a lot of ways. Already had plenty of power and really rather good handling and braking. So yeah, we're just basically fettled with those good aspects and just made them slightly better, quite frankly. So yeah, it's got 60 extra horsepower, it's bumping it up to 460 horsepower, and it's now got 356 pounds-feet of torque, which is a bump of 46. So yeah, decent amount on upgrades in power, and it now weighs 84 pounds less, 3,013 pounds. So yeah, less power, no, less weight, more power, more torque. Inevitably is going to make for a quicker car. But obviously the less reduction in weight also makes for a better handling car, which is helped along by the fact we've got better brakes now and better tyres. So yeah, it's not the quickest of cars at the top end, but it's really rather good when it gets twisty. As yeah, it's still rear wheel drive only, so no front wheel, no four wheel drive understeer has been added onto this, although it does still have some understeer at times, but it's easily manageable for the most part. For when we're running into fences, that is. Tried to play it way too risky getting around that skyline. Should have waited my turn because I do feel like I'm quicker than him regardless. Guess time will tell if we can catch up. Do obviously have a Ferrari F40 to chase down as well, which even in stock form is hardly a slow car, despite being as old as it is. Made up for that time for hitting the tree. Yeah, I really do enjoy driving this car. Its engine is a little bit highly strung for my ears, but it's still a fantastic car to drive, upgraded or otherwise. Not sure if we're going to beat that Shelby Daytona though. That's also a very powerful car, also very little in the way of weight. Obviously more modern platform to build those upgrades up onto, which could be an advantage. We're definitely faster through the corners, but he's probably got the power over us. Yeah, I think that's a good showing from the Lotus, considering how much I ballsed it up going into that tree. So yeah, that's a really good showing that we caught up the other two when we weren't all that far behind the Shelby. Yeah, we were less than a second behind despite that massive crash that we had into that tree. So yeah, hopefully that's showing off the potential of this car. Now the Shelby isn't fully upgraded, but does still seem like a quick car. Not quite sure why it's not had the full A-class upgrades, but maybe the car works better not being fully upgraded. Some cars are like that sometimes. But yeah, this car's really rather good in terms of its acceleration as well. Not massively so over the standard vehicle, but still it can now do 0 to 60 in 3.815 seconds, which is just over 0.3 of a second quicker than stock. And it can now do 0 to 109.070 seconds, which is just under a second quicker than standard. And it's 3 miles an hour quicker at the top end at 182. So yeah, it's not the best in terms of top speed. It does take quite a while to get there, especially once we shift into 6th gear, which isn't the best gears in the world by any means, but yeah, once it's The initial acceleration for sure is pretty good, and the mid-range clout is also rather solid, especially once in the corners. Favourite non-EVs to drive on this game, quite frankly. Well, if you're going to force me to a field, then I'll go into a field, big boy. I have no issues doing a bit of farmyard green laning. Beat your own all you want, sunshine. What's the matter with some people in this game? Hahaha, karma. Suck it, Evo. Some people are the most annoying people in the world. Absolutely no reason to be blaring your horn behind people, other than the fact you want to try and distract them, which is not sporting in the slightest. Never mind, they're trying to ram me off the road as well. Yeah, but this car's great. I'm really enjoying it. It's really rather quite balanced in terms of how it handles. Sure, it's got some understeer, like I've said, but yeah, for a rear-wheel drive car with 460 horsepower, it's nowhere near as oversteer as you might expect it to be. Especially given it's not got that much amount of weight to really press down on those tyres. So yeah, it's just so well balanced and so smooth and just really rewarding to drive. That's something I always appreciate, quite frankly. Got plenty of other cars to race online as well, with that car pack coming out that this is a part of. So, yeah, and plenty of festival players cars to drive as well. So, yeah, there's a win for the Lotus, despite that Mitsubishi trying to ram us off the road and distract us unfairly. And yeah, more than 4 seconds ahead of that Evo, so yeah, good win for us. That'll help us on our podium position for sure, especially since the Shelby came last. Yep, we're now 10 points ahead of the Ferrari. And oh, the Shelby actually dipped out. Oh well. So yeah, 10 points ahead of the two in the previous race, and well ahead of the Evo. Being rather unsporting. So yeah, let's get on to the third and final race. Would be interesting to see what this car can do with swapping in the Mercedes AMG engine, the inline 4, with its 355 horsepower, because that engine I think is lighter than the V6 supercharged that we have here, but obviously it offers less power. But that means you could also upgrade it as well. So yeah, it would be interesting to see what we can do with that, and really I'm glad that they've given us that option to swap that engine in. I wish they'd do that with more cars. If they're not going to do my whole, you know, options list kind of idea for using cars on these games, then at least give us the choice to swap different engines in that cars have on offer. Obviously that's not the case with every car out there, but it would be nice, you know, especially with the ones that can have EV power outputs as well as, you know, just combustion engine ones, or, you know, there's hybrid versions of combustion engine only vehicles out there as well. It'd be really interesting to see the comparisons of between those and what each of them can do against one another. Come on. Loading times on this are the worst. Yeah, bit of a shame that the new Forza Motorsport doesn't have the car list option, the options list that I have always, touted for being a great idea for a game. I can see why it might not happen, because obviously that means you'd have to scan every kind of car in terms of its body shape and the like. But a lot of cars are available to see in that regard, especially modern cars. Might be a bit more difficult for older vehicles. Right, let's see what happens in this last race. Well, see you later, Evo. You're not going to be bothering me in this race, thankfully. Skyline clipped an AI car. And as per usual, what I've always said with doing these videos is I'm sure there's a better way to upgrade this car. I'm sure you'll see plenty of people sticking the Forza wing on the back and probably a front splitter as well. But I like to keep a car looking as stock as possible. We don't have any major, straight line areas, because that Ferrari would probably lick us. It does have a higher top speed even in stock form. We do struggle up hills. It seems to be something that is always a problem with my vehicles on these online races. Now, I could showboat a little bit with this car and try and drift it around corners, but it's not the kind of car that likes to drift, I've found. Kind of seems like it have its grip just snap up and lose it in an instant. It's a very finely balanced kind of car, so you don't really want to be upsetting that balance by sliding around too much. But there we go, another win. F40 does seem a little bit similar to me, rear-wheel drive, mid-engined. But it's obviously a little bit older, and it is a tricky car to drive at times, being an older car. But yeah, there we go, a nice win with the Lotus Emira, which I do highly recommend getting from the racing car pack. I recommend getting the car pack in general, to be honest, because it's got 4 cars in it. It's not an expensive car pack by any means, and yeah, at least 3 of them I find to be really rather enjoyable to drive. Only one that I don't is the drift car, and that's because it is a drift car, although it did put up a good showing in how fast will it go, which I've probably seen already. So yeah, but there we go, the Lotus Emira, really rather fun car to drive, and a really rather competitive one as well, as I find. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.